right, what is going on, everyone? Happy Thursday, almost Friday, and welcome into a brand new edition of the Ryan Ripken Show. Hey, look, we've had a great week of guests here on the show. We're going to kind of recap what has kind of happened, and really there's some hot topics and highlights that maybe you missed. We're going to go around and talk about what's still happening with the Orioles and Major League Baseball, including the Buster Olney and Tim Kirchin. We're talking about, well, the whole Juan Soto situation, and there's been some moments there. We did a breakdown, or I did one on Walker Buehler. There is some news around baseball, just kind of getting you up to speed. There's a little bit of football news that we didn't get to cover yesterday. New proposals were voted upon. The tush push is here to stay in 2025. But what else could be on the horizon? And Isaiah Likely was on with Kay Adams, kind of talking about, I don't know, some interesting things with the Bengals as we move forward in this season. If we have time, we'll potentially do some call-ins. It depends on how these things rock and roll. But as always, guys, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And, hey, become a member. It helps us out in the long run. And you know, it also helps us out when we have a great community like you guys. And I got a great team here, as always. And to my right, he's back, Mr. Zach Bollinger. How are we doing?
Doing well. Excited to be here. You know, just happy to be here.
Are you excited? That wasn't very exciting.
I don't know. Okay, well, it's like, you know, Orioles game canceled. That kind of sucks. But, like, besides that, like, you know, it's a very good. It's rainy.
Yeah, it was okay.
You know. Fun win yesterday, though, for the O's. It's had some incredible basketball.
It was
Pacers.
Good. Yeah.
Halliburton, you know. Yeah, pretty good Thursday. It's Thursday. I got my weeks,
I can't believe it's
days
Thursday.
So confused recently.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just been like Wednesday for a while.
You know what it is? I think it's the weather.
Yeah.
Weather also has made things just depressing here lately.
It brings down your mood at times. And Brad, how you doing also, obviously?
Oh, hey. How's it going?
Hair looks great.
Thank you, sir.
Would we use some shea butter for that, or what do we got working with the
There's sea salt spray and curling cream.
See, I wish, like, I think it would be good for me, but at the same time, I don't think it matters at this point in time. And, you know, hey, you stop over there, Zach, all right?
I cut some of it off, but you know, you still got some.
Proud of you guys, but proud of each and every one of you. And maybe we'll have a little bit of a throwback Thursday because, guys, actually a day or 15 years ago tomorrow, someone was reminding me we had the high school championship at Gilman. Go Hounds, Zach. We won the championship, and they showed a photo of yours truly. And if you thought I was lanky, well, at least now, he should have seen what I looked like back then. It was an interesting look, but it was an amazing time to say the least. And it was a very kind of rainy day when we won the championship up in Aberdeen. So appreciate looking back on some great times. And, hey, Kevin, I appreciate you being a member for 7 months. And, yeah, it has been a minute. Can't wait for some more call-ins and hope you are doing well. Hey, so where do we want to start with this? I think we'll start with a little bit of Orioles. So that's kind of where the hot topic has been. Not for all the right reasons, but, hey, the boys have won.
There's a dub.
And they are going to be undefeated for another day because of the postponement tonight against the Red Sox. So the Orioles are winners of one going into Friday. Feels good. You could see, though, that fans in general, the mood was different even on social media, just for one day. For one day. Not everyone got the O's are fine hint, Brad, but it was a phenomenal tweet that you sent out there.
I mean, look, sometimes you just have to have a little fun. And that's what we did.
You got to have fun, right? Life's already hard enough. And when you look at what's been going on with Baltimore, no one's been having fun. And it feels like this last week has been an eternity, right? It feels like Brandon Hyde was fired weeks ago. And it felt like the Orioles haven't won since April. That's how I know it feels for some people. But it hasn't even been a week since Brandon Hyde was relieved of duty. That was last Saturday.
Yeah, it is crazy.
Right? So while I'm saying that, One thing that continues on is the struggles for Adley Rutschman. And I understand maybe that's because of it carried over from the second half of 2024. You thought he was back on opening weekend, and then he's been having a tough time. Now, Adley, it's a big reason why the Orioles got the W against the Brewers in the finale in extra innings. A little cut piece. I'd like to think of it as just a slider slurve. Left up, ball left the yard in a hurry. 3-run jack. Orioles win the game. Adley gets 2 hits. Really great to see. But a lot of people are putting a lot of criticism on the former number 1 overall pick back in 2019. And they're saying, well, what the hell's happening? Is this the guy you want for the future? Well, we talked to Buck Showalter yesterday. And Buck Showalter, well, he not only gave some advice when he had a top catcher that was on his roster in Baltimore years back, he also gave us an opinion on what he thinks of Adley Rutschman. So let's play that clip for you guys.
Everybody, and I remember a conversation I had with Weeders when I first got there, because there was a little bit of hazing by some bad veterans, different stuff. And I called Matty and I said, Matty, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go catch. I want you to be the big kahuna here. And I got your back. All this stuff with some of these veterans, they're not going to be here. And I just want you to go catch. I said, I did the same thing with Lindor. I don't need you to be the spokesman for the team. I don't need you to be the guy who gets on his teammates. I need you to go play shortstop. And everything else takes care of itself. Adley's a smart guy. I love the way he carries himself. And I know if I was with another club, if they're not happy with him, let me know. I think he's going to be fine. And the stuff that catchers go through. But sometimes, it's a what have you done for me lately world. That sophomore year and junior year after your freshman year when everything's coming up roses, it's a challenge. But if you can get through it, Ryan, if you can get through it, it's going to be so important for you as your career goes forward. And he'll get through it.
So there's Buck Showalter about his feelings on Adley. But you heard the first part. Matt Wieters was the 2nd overall pick. And he was supposed to be the greatest thing. He was possibly going to be that all-star Hall of Fame trajectory. But this is also a good reminder that you never know who's going to pan out. And enough of the Matt Wieters slander, because he had a great career. 2009 to 2020 as an MLB backstop playing the catching position.
Yeah.
And for the Orioles, he had 4 straight seasons of hitting 22 or more jacks. And his thing was known for his defense. He helped command a pitching staff and grew into his own as the Orioles came into some great years.
He really became a true leader.
Yeah, in 2012 to 2016, when the Orioles, things were going well. But for Wieters, though, I love that Buck's saying, hey, I just want you to focus on what you have to do. I want you to focus on catching. And then you heard him talk about Francisco Lindor. When Lindor got to the Mets, there's a lot of kind of chaos. And yes, Lindor has turned into a leader over time, the last couple of years especially. But when Buck was there, he said, I don't want you to worry about handling all of the pressures, be the spokesperson. Just go play shortstop for us, and you're going to figure it out. He wants to see that with Adley Rutschman, and I do too. I don't need to see Adley be the rah-rah face and talk about it. It would be nice to hear from him at times more, but I want Adley just to focus on getting back on track. Focus on what you can do, because let's just face it, Zach, a Adley Rutschman that we've seen, the skills are there. But the biggest battle for right now for Adley Rutschman is battling with Adley Rutschman.
Yeah, it's the mental side. We've seen Adley through the years, even starting when he was in the minors, he has been that kind of model of consistency. He was always the best player on the team. He was always the leader. And he was kind of tasked with this pressure of, once he came up was when the tide kind of turned in Baltimore. They go on that run after he gets called up, after they had been very poor the few prior years, and even early on in that season. Suddenly, more guys come up. You go from, this young guy on the team to now even though you're still a young guy, he was seen as the veteran guy, as the leader of the team. And that's a lot, especially once you start struggling. And, like Buck has talked about yesterday a lot, for a lot of these guys, this is their first time struggling. So it's that mental aspect of getting over the hump. Are there things that I think physically, maybe there's something in Adley's swing here and there, we've talked about when you've broke it down. Yes. So there are going to be more physical things as well, but it all starts with the mental side of it, getting that confidence back, because we've seen Adley when he's at his best, when all things are going well, he can be the best catcher in baseball. It's not a discussion. When he's going well, he is a top 3 catcher in baseball, and it's not an argument.
No doubt about it. And I think that's where people get caught up, right? And because in 22, he was looked at as the savior. Oh, he's here. The Orioles are playing well, and they did. And the correlation was there when you brought up Adley. But then when there was some other struggles and adversity, the middle part of 2024, and you're banged up and your backs are against the wall, and then who knows what contract extension talks could or couldn't be happening. A lot of other things can be going through your mind. And then you're going into this year where there's more expected from you. Whammy, then you're going to go through some tough times, but it's a reminder. We are only in May. It's May 22nd as we record this podcast here. So I think it would be a good experiment while we're talking about this, since we just talked about Matt Wieters and his career. Brad, I'm going to ask you a question here, and I want you to think, or I want you to give me your take here. You're going to be my test dummy.
All right.
So thank you. So Matt Wieters, okay.
Not really a stretch. Emphasis on the dummy.
Yeah. So average, and let's just say OPS.
Yeah.
We'll do the two. We'll start. What do you think Matt Wieters' career average was as a big leaguer?
260 something.
I like the optimist in you, but no, 249.
Okay. That wasn't that far off.
No, it wasn't, but good context. So now that you have the average, what do you think his OPS was?
Given the average, probably like 650, 700.
722.
Okay.
And he had 4 straight years from 2010 to 2013 where he had 20 or more home runs. He never had more than 83 RBIs in any season, and he only did that once. Every other year, his numbers mainly fluctuated between the 40s into the high 60s for RBIs. Okay? Now let's go to Adley Rutschman so far through 3 seasons and change. Let's start with average. Adley Rutschman average. What do you think right now, Brad?
Adley's career average right now?
Career average.
260.
Close. 257.
Hey.
Now OPS.
OPS is 710.
762.
Okay.
So his numbers through the first 3 years are actually solid.
Well, let me play devil's advocate
of course.
on this. So was Matt Wieters ever a top prospect in the organization?
I mean, he was the guy.
I mean, like equivalent to Adley expectations.
Oh, he had more. They haven't made comparisons about anybody catching wise since Matt Wieters.
Yeah.
Like Adley, it was Joe Mauer, I believe, Matt Wieters, and then Matt Wieters now to Adley Rutschman was supposed to be a better Matt Wieters and somewhere like a Joe Mauer, Buster Posey. So if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So the expectation's there.
Yeah.
So the expectation's been there. I just wanted to point out the context of it. Even the first 2 years of Matt Wieters' career, 753 OPS, 695. Adley, his first 2 years, 806, 809. The bigger difference between Wieters and Adley is Wieters is considered a better defensive catcher.
I was just about to go there. Yeah.
But
calling the game, that sort of thing.
For sure. Yeah. So I think, but even like he had a cannon for an arm too. So the point I wanted to throw out here is the catching position is really, it's hard, and like, this isn't saying that there isn't mistakes that Adley's made. I told you there's certain things I wonder on the pitch selection and the calling of the game. That's number one. But when you're a catcher, you are physically getting banged up more than anybody else. I think of all the catchers that are left in the game today, Salvador Perez is the one where I sit there and go, damn, the longevity that he's had, the production that he's had over his career, it's been impressive. But for catchers in general, you're going to take your lumps. Adley Rutschman is taking his lumps. And on top of it, now you're on a team where you're facing the most struggles. And currently, as we said, he's hitting .213, 5 home runs on the season OPS at 659, the lowest so far in his career.
He's also under a lot of pressure when you consider that there's 2 absolute studs as far as catchers are concerned in the farm system as well.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody talks about Sam Basayo, but like there's more than just Sam as well. So it's almost kind of like from a fan's perspective, you're like, okay, Adley's not doing well. He hasn't been doing well really since the middle of last season. Below average numbers, defensively not there either. So like why don't we give this guy, the next guy a shot? Sam Basayo obviously has 7-8 home runs already this season, and is like, and that's with him being injured earlier on too. So like, I think there's a lot of people asking those questions. Do you think they're valid or no?
I think it's understandable to want to have questions now because of who's behind you and what Sam Basayo could become, but it doesn't take away from what Adley Rutschman has done and what he can still do. The biggest question for Adley is, how long do you catch for? Is it for 3 years? Is it for 5 years?
Yeah.
Do you make the jump back here? If Adley, which I'm buying that Adley's going to get his average up and the numbers are going to rise for the season, but then what's going to be the floor? What's the ceiling for him? Sam Basayo's ceiling is extremely high.
Yes.
But we don't know the floor then, what Sam Basayo could be. But for Adley, he's going to be a piece, and he needs to be a piece for this team. When he plays well, the Orioles typically play pretty well, typically offensively. And I don't think it's not related. It's not a coincidence that his struggles have correlated with their team at the top of the order not getting more things going.
So my next question to that would be, there's obviously it's pretty crowded as far as position players are concerned. And then you have the catching situation. I would be surprised if Sam Basayo is down there in AAA much longer. So then what do you do about that? Because if you're committed to Adley, Adley's just going to play regardless. If you're committed to Sam, he's got to play more than every 5 games or however long. So what do you do as a GM when you have this? Do you think about trading pieces at that point? We already kind of talked about Kobe Mayo potentially playing first base, so it's kind of hard to push Adley over to first. He doesn't have a bat right now that's good enough to just be DH all the time. What do you do in that situation? I feel like it's a good problem to have, but it's a problem nonetheless.
Yeah, I think in an ideal world, and we're talking about the word platoon, if you're going to platoon in one position, it would be catching. It would be catching because of the fact that it has the most wear and tear. Now, having said that, though, the platoon for those 2 guys, you would think that they would still get their regular at bats, and I'm curious. This is us buying. Adley's going to get back to his numbers. So then you're looking forward and moving ahead.
Yeah.
Then you're looking at 2 guys where you're not going to go outside of the organization. They're going to be in-house, where Adley and Sam can stay fresh catching, but then can also DH, maybe play a little first, but I'm fine with them just DHing and catching. If you're able to say, hey, each of you guys split 162 and you catch 80 games, that's a lot of rest for catchers, but we don't see that. No. Not a lot of organizations actually can say they have 2 catchers that could be all-star type players, is what you hope Sam Basayo becomes on your actual roster. So I think it's a little bit unprecedented. We haven't seen it, but I think that would be my first initial response. But Adley Rutschman here, the reality is he's not 21 or 22, right? He's 27 years old right now.
Yeah.
So he's going to be 28 before next season. He's in a different stage of where he is compared to Sam. So I am very curious, and I hope for his sake he does turn it around. But I'm with Buck. I'm buying the talent. I'm buying that he can turn it around. And if and when he does, great. And then you cross that bridge when you get there. But Sam Basayo is going to be the catcher of the future. that's next year or in 4 years, I think we're all in agreement. Sam Basayo is going to get his chance.
I think depending on how the rest of the season goes, we see him this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think it could be the September type of situation, but I think it happens.
It very well could happen here.
Yeah, I could see him getting called up depending on
How the season goes.
How the season's going. Before I was thinking he'd be September, probably the earliest. But if they keep falling or staying where they are, and you got nothing else, to play for, but seeing what you have, especially after the trade deadline, if you get rid of some pieces, I don't see why you wouldn't give him. But if he comes up, he's got to play every day, or at least 5 out of 6 games throughout the week. We can't be doing the Sam Basayo comes up, he sits on the bench the first 3 games, pinch hitting once in the 9th inning of a high pressure situation, and then he plays 1 game and then he sits for 2 games and then he plays 2 and sits for 3. If he comes up, we have to play the prospects.
And I wouldn't be surprised, though, just to throw it out, that if Sam just stays in AAA the whole year, because he is 20 years old.
Well, yeah. That's always the possibility.
He's 20 years old, hitting 241 now. I get it. OPS is 872. And I know people want to look at that. I still think there's a huge value to hitting for average, because you're going to be facing better arms when you move up.
Yeah.
And right now, if I'm looking at the numbers for Sam, it's just under a strikeout a game, which is not unprecedented for this day and age of baseball. He's got 7 home runs, got 4 doubles. But can you continue to up the contact, ball and play situation there? Because overall, that's going to help him in the long run. But he's got a bright future. Can't wait. But in the meantime, let's hope Adley Rutschman goes on a little bit of a bender here and the Orioles get hot, win 10, 12, 13, 14 in a row. Just kidding. Let's just start with winning tomorrow.
Yeah.
And we'll go on from there. And you know what? We'll continue moving on here. Before we do, want to ask you guys to hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show. We do this live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday right here on YouTube and usually X, but I think we're having trouble there. But join us over on YouTube and Stop Traffic. We do this on Apple and Spotify, so you can listen to the podcast there and leave us a review while you're at it. Get the good word out here that we like talking ball. We like having fun. We like to cook in here. Thank you to the Iron Rooster yesterday. And we like to do some fitness challenges, and it's a good time to thank our sponsor, Merit Clubs. And you can go to meritclubs.com for more of their information. We have changed some of our deals around where we can't give out the free month anymore because the pools are opening. We can't give out the 2 weeks because apparently the pools get very crowded. People like being around a pool, Zach. We were around a pool for quite some time. You saw those giant slides.
It was fun.
It was electric. It was amazing.
It was a beautiful day, too.
Beautiful day. Got some sun. We need the sun to come back.
Yes, please.
It's gone forever.
Yeah. What the hell is going on with this weather?
Horrible rain season where it's feels like every other day, it's a nice day. And then at just a random part of the day, even on nice days, it just starts raining.
Yeah. You know how they say the April showers bring May flowers?
Yes.
That's never the case. May always rains its ass off. Always.
April showers brings you more May showers.
Well, yes.
It's a good point there. Well, shirts and pants. It's Memorial Day weekend this weekend, and the pools over at Merit Clubs, they're opening 10 a.m., I believe, on Saturday, 11 on Sunday and Monday. And as the summer rolls on, those hours get better and better. And when we get down to Canton, now that they are reopening, they got a nice rooftop bar up there. And I said bar first, and I didn't hesitate. I'm looking at the rooftop bar with the pool. I like my indulging when I want to relax here. Heck, this is a bar that we have here in the studio, but I got to work on my skills. We already decided that. My skills, if I got to put a rate out there, I would say I don't know if I'm passing. I'd say C- at best for that last effort. D-, is that better, Zach? You're kind of judging me over there.
We'll give you a C-. Well, you put the grade out there first. I was just agreeing with you. I was just being supportive.
You're a good kid, man. I don't care what everyone else says about you, especially Kevin, but you're a good kid. All right, let's keep moving in a little bit of baseball conversations. Interesting conversation with Corbin Burnes.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I wanted to bring this up, because, why don't we check in on the former Baltimore Oriole and current Arizona Diamondback? But Corbin was talking about one of the pitches that he likes to throw, that cutter that he threw. Well, apparently, he might be making some changes to that. So let's play that clip, and then we're going to talk about his comments on the other side.
I'm here with Corbin Burnes, and he's going to show us the best cutter in baseball. Let's see the grip.
That's it.
Awesome. And what are your cues for that when you're kind of mechanically when you're throwing that?
It's just a 4-seam fastball for me.
Yeah.
Natural cut. The more I try to manipulate it, the more it sucks. So it's just go a 4-seam fastball and let the natural cut take over.
Last year, it kind of had less drop at the beginning of the season. It kind of had more drop at the end of the season. Was that something you were working on to get at the end of the season?
That's more just I was trying to manipulate it to do certain things that I shouldn't have been doing. So when I got back to kind of doing naturally what I had done in years past, shape got.
Do you think you're a supinator? You're just like you're comfortable on that side of the ball?
Yeah.
And this was a big step forward for you?
Yeah. I think that's kind of how I've been my whole life of cutting the baseball. The more I try to make it cut or make it cut less is when I start doing dumb stuff. So just gotta let my arm do what it wants to do and let the ball cut.
It's kind of vibing. I didn't realize that they were playing.
We might get
bad
demonetized
habits.
for that one.
We might. But I thought that the wording was really cool there, because this is, hey, we try to break things down a little bit. So Corbin Burnes was talking about the grip, and they're saying, hey, that famous cutter that you have. Well, he was just saying, no, I actually hold it as a 4-seam grip. That's a 4-seam grip. That's supposed to be a normal fastball.
Yep.
But people have natural run to their ball or natural cut. So Corbin was saying, hey, when I throw the fastball, just how I throw it, it naturally just cuts on its own. But how about that? He said, the more that I tried to make it cut or tried to manipulate the baseball, the more it sucked. And actually, when you correlated that last year, guys, we saw that down the stretch.
Yes, we saw that in August.
Yeah. And it's his worst month historically in general for his career. But it just goes to show you, at the big league level, even as long as Corbin Burnes has been around, and some of these guys, they're still trying to figure out what works for them and what doesn't. And clearly trying to do more for Corbin with his natural cutting fastball. It's better. And for Corbin Burnes, I just think that's insight that not everyone gets to see when you think about it.
I mean, anytime we talk to a player, whether it's a legend or maybe somebody like Corbin, it always, to me, leads back to one thing. It's just keeping it as simple as possible, not overcomplicating things. And that's kind of what I heard from Corbin.
Yeah. Well, and that's the other part. Keep it simple. Keep it simple, and what works for you works for you. In one part with pitching, the big thing I like to, I did not mean to get into an analytics conversation here, but it is on my mind. I didn't hear one thing about how he spins it, how it does. He just goes, it sucked. The results. Mm-hmm. I feel better when I throw it. I don't need to look at anything else. The batter can tell me if the pitch is working or not. That's what I took away from that. And I think that's what's made Corbin successful, is that he's getting feedback from the hitters, specifically when they were rocking him with that cutter in August later in the season. And then you make that adjustment. You don't need a metric to tell you that your cutter ain't doing it.
Yeah.
The batters are going to tell you that.
I've seen people talk about this on, Twitter, the happy place. Does it worry you at all? Because I've seen people of if he's saying that towards the end of last year when it started, as he said, sucking. It was maybe a more analytical approach from, did he make that decision? Was it pitching coaches, stuff like that? Because he kind of says, I wanted to get back to what I'd done in previous years. So I do wonder if that was something of he went to Arizona. He's like, I want to get back to that. If that was something he, decided that he wanted to try out, if it was something that maybe the Orioles were like, hey, maybe try throwing it like this. Because it seemed like he was like, yeah, I just went back to what I'd naturally done over the years, kind of, just letting it rip. So I thought that was also an interesting tidbit of it is, who made that decision last year to, change up his cutter? Because like you said, it did seem pretty obvious, like the games where you could tell that the cutter was not working.
And technically his ball, because it doesn't register too much of a straight four-seamer. So every time he throws a four-seamer, it registers as a cutter. He's throwing that 45% of the time that the ball is doing that. That's almost 50%. You want to make sure if that's going to be your bread and butter for the majority of your pitches, that's set up. And his curveball, if you guys were wondering, that's his second most thrown pitch at 21%. And last year for him, it off that cutter, guys were hitting 251. And so far this year, that's down. It's down to 228. Slugging, ironically, it's interesting. Batting average is down for the cutter, but slugging is up this year. Not much, but it's up. When I say it's slugging, people only slugging 430 off of that pitch. So it's just good context about pitching, and I think it is great. Sports and Dog Training Plus, it's depressing to talk about Corbin. How about talking about Cade Povich or another O's pitcher instead? Hey, we're just trying to learn, And Cade Povich, he's trying to learn a lot too. All of them are, right? And Corbin is a business decision. He didn't go to New York, did he? No. Went to Arizona. But Cade Povich, he's supposed to pitch tonight, wasn't he? Yes.
Yeah, I believe so.
And then Charlie Morton was this Friday night guy. Mr. Friday night. The Orioles never lose when Charlie Morton pitches on Friday night on days that end in 2025.
I hope you're right.
Hey, Zach. Hey, come on now. Come on. A little positivity here.
We got serious melancholy, Zach, today.
We were talking about Charlie Morton.
I know.
I'm won they still haven't won a game that he's pitching, right? It's 0 for 11 now?
Either him or Gibby.
Yeah, well, we don't have to worry about.
I know. Yeah. I'm just saying those guys combined, I think, are 0 for 11 or some shit.
Yeah, I think Zach.
It was
how do we get your Thursday spirits up?
It's the rain. I'm telling you.
Do you want to talk about the 8-game losing streak?
I'm just glad we got a win yesterday. Feeling better than Juan Soto, though.
Are you feeling better than Juan Soto, or are you feeling better?
Actually, I guess
than Mets fans?
I'm feeling better than Mets fans, and I'm feeling probably better than Steve Cohen is about his investment at the moment.
That's a great segue.
Great segue. So, yeah, I guess people are freaking out over Juan Soto right now. And I mean freaking out.
Well, I think they should be. You pay $750 million for a guy, $65 million for a guy, and he goes up there and acts like he doesn't give a fuck in right field and then takes 15 balls in a row, which is an MLB record.
Do we have that clip, by the way, of the 15 takes?
No.
All right, where someone find that. I'm going to talk about it. Hey,
if I was Steve Cohen, I'd be finding ways to sue that man.
Oh my goodness. Go. You know what?
19. What was it, Zach? What was the stat?
He saw 19 pitches yesterday and swung at 4.
4.
Oh, sugar. All right. Why don't we play
There's
Buster?
no defending that, Rip. There's no defending.
I'm gonna defend. We're gonna have some context here. We're getting fired up. You want to hear some things, but before you hear my opinion on the situation, Buster Olney and Tim Kirchin, they talked about what's going on with Juan Soto. So let's play that clip for you guys first.
Over the weekend at Yankee Stadium, and I've said this in other places, he looked like a 15-year-old who had just been told to take the trash out. I mean, that's how little energy there was. He's walking on and off the field every half inning. We've seen the Soto shuffle disappear, which for me was not about him trying to intimidate the opposing pitcher. It was always about him competing within the at-bat. Man, Carlos Mendoza is in a tough spot as a manager to deal with this in New York. And just to put this, this relationship into context, Carlos Mendoza makes less money than what the Mets spend on the seats that they give Soto around Citi Field during the course of a season. I mean, the power disparity between these two guys is enormous.
But he's still the manager, Buster, and he still has every right to go to Juan Soto and say, basically, I don't care how much money you make or how great a player you are. That's not good enough. Buster, you know me. I'm very defensive of players. The one thing I will always and never forget is how difficult the game is to play. If you can't hit, if you can't throw a strike, if you can't catch a ground ball hit at 110 miles an hour, I get it. But when you stop hustling, when you're not trying your hardest, then you have crossed the line with me and with others. And he ran to first base in 6.88 seconds and the other day in a game at Fenway Park. It's just unacceptable. And I was really surprised about the lack of energy that you're talking about, Buster, because the one thing we've always known about Juan Soto is he never gives an at-bat away. He never gives a pitch away. And interestingly, remember when he and some of the Padres were not getting along a couple years ago, and he wasn't even getting along perfectly with Manny Machado. I was told the reason why is that Juan Soto just didn't like it, that Manny Machado didn't run hard to first base on every play. That really bothered Juan Soto. And then he did the same thing in a Subway Series game. I just don't understand it. Carlos Mendoza, who is really good at this job, he has to go right to him and say, look, you're the best player on the team. You're the highest paid player in baseball history. When you act that way, everyone will follow.
So right there, because there's two sides of this, because the one that I wanted to talk about where I was going to say defending is numbers. This part, if we want to talk about hustle.
This is the part I'm pissed about.
So now I understand. Yes, continue, and then I'll go. Go
I
ahead.
was just saying, like, the whole reason why I just went off was because of exactly what Tim said. If you're making that kind of money and I'm paying you that kind of money to hustle out every base, to never give up a pitch, to be the best defender in baseball because you're the highest paid player in baseball, you need to do that. And we're 2 months into the season after I just gave you the biggest contract in baseball history, and this is how you're going to act? Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, I think we're going to talk. I'll go numbers first because with everyone saying about struggling for him, he still has an OPS of over 800, has 8 jacks, 9 doubles, 21 RBIs, averages at 243. And that's his downtime as a player.
Yeah.
Right? So numbers-wise, that's what's saying, like, hey, I'm not worried that he's going to put up big numbers by the end of the year.
No.
But to your point, this is what I can get behind with it. When you watch and you go, damn, that swagger, that energy, even if you were missing plays in New York, we didn't see this type of, I don't want to say behavior, could say behavior, but this is listlessness the right word? Like it just seems the energy for him is not being thrown out there into the world like it was when he was a Yankee. Couldn't get the word out.
I'm so sorry. Gavin Sheets just hit a 2-run homer to tie it in the 9th. I just watched it. I was like,
it's his second homer of the game.
Yeah, he has all 4 runs. Sorry, but yeah, sorry. I just saw the notification.
Attaboy, Gavin.
Gavin came up in the 9th. I was like, oh, tying run. I'll see. And all of a sudden, literally, I put it on. I just see the little animated ball fly. I was like, oh my gosh. I just saw it go over. At least somebody's producing out there. Hustling. Gavin
Sheets. Guess who's not getting paid the most money in baseball and still knows how to produce?
Hey, you know what? We might have to change our best values of it. Best signing of the offseason.
Hell yeah.
Gavin Sheets. You know he was running hard to first, but it might not be that damn fast because he's got a tractor trailer attached, and I can't speak much because I might be as slow as his ass now. Gavin Sheets. Gavin Sheets, the San Diego Sheets. It's unbelievable.
Yes, but back to real fast to Juan Soto.
We're totally putting that on IG. Buddy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We are. It is one of those situations where, like Tim said, he was always a player that I never questioned how competitive he was because, like, they were talking about in the clip, he never gave up an at bat. Never, even if it was, late in the game, they had no, chance or they were up by so much. He never gave away an at bat. He was always, as Buster only said, competing with himself inside an at bat. And that's what made him so hard to get out. Then all of a sudden yesterday, you watch the first at bat, strike over the middle, strike over the middle, strike over the middle, no reaction, walk away. And you're like, this isn't even the same guy. I think that's where it's most frustrating is it's not the, you get struggles. If he's going out there and he's getting underneath the ball and you're like, okay, he's pressing a little much. Then you're like, okay, he's got to reel it in. Like he's trying too hard right now. I'd rather try to tell a guy to reel it in than you're sitting at your highest paid player in baseball going, hey, can we get at least a half jog to first? When you're running after fly balls, can we at least put some sort of effort into it?
How about swing the damn bat?
Yeah. So I want to. Do we have the clips? Can we find the pitches or some of them so I can talk about it? Because I have seen, in some cases, like I remember Bryce Harper had a game where the bat stayed right here for a while. So I want to explain at least that part. And facing Crochet was the one guy, but I want to see if there was more so I can try to explain. My biggest thing is if you go up there and you don't swing the bat because you're just not seeing it or something's off, like, hey, that happens. It's the other stuff of when you put a ball in play and you got to go. Like the one check swing against the Yankees, and he thought like, maybe it wasn't going to go through or he was going to be out all of a sudden, and he starts slow. But if he was running out of the box, he probably would have had a hit. Those types of things. Yeah. And guess what? You're playing for the New York Mets. You're in New York. You're the highest paid player. You're going to be criticized for every damn thing that you do. So you might as well, though, not give them any more ammunition to go after you. But the struggles as a hitter, I can live with that with him. I'm not worried about the hitter, Juan Soto. But there is clearly something going on the other side. Whatever that is.
Yeah.
Whatever that is, something's going on there. People saying, he wishes he was in New York. Well, he is in New York. Just not with the Yankees, but he chose that. He chose to be a Met. Who knows exactly? And the Mets are a damn good team right now, by the way.
I'm with Tom Ryder here. He looked really lazy in right field, baffling. He was a Gold Glove finalist last year.
Well, okay, the Gold Glove, the Gold Glove decision making is. I don't know how that's voted upon or decided. It's terrible.
I think Major League Baseball was just messing with people because there was nothing like that. Was one of those like most blatant. Hey, we want to push this guy as one of the faces of the league. Let's try to build the case. They're like put him in the Gold Glove finals. There is not a. Remember, we even had Buck Showalter on last season. He even made. I was like, not really. Sure, all the Gold Glove finalists are the right guys, but we'll, that's besides the point. I mean, it was just more comical when they're like, yeah, Juan Soto's a, finalist for the Gold Glove. And you're like, were we watching the same player in the field this year?
Well, it's in some cases like that Samuel L. Jackson meme where it's just like, you look over. I don't know how they fully do it, to be honest. And in one case, this was no knock to even Mountie, because I think Mountie's a great first baseman, but Mountie missed like 50 games and he was a finalist.
Yeah.
And I'm going, well, hey, I think his glove is worthy of it. But in that circumstance, why is he a finalist when he missed that many games? Just like for Juan Soto, there are more memes of him missing balls than any other player last year.
Even this year.
And I'm not going to even go down the rabbit hole and say he is an awful defender, because I don't think he's awful. It's gotten worse over the years.
Well, here's the thing, and this is where I think maybe there's an issue, is he wasn't a bad defender in Washington at all.
No.
Is it he stopped caring? Because it's like it almost feels like it's one thing to be an average fielder, or like, hey, he was just always a bad fielder. That just happens. He was a decent fielder. I mean, let me look at his, fielding stats over the years, but it wasn't necessarily that he was ever bad at fielding when he was with the Nationals, and it just fell off a cliff, if I can remember correctly. So, but even to this day, I still think he can be an average defender. I still think he is. It's just those moments that happen, he gets criticized because it looks so bad. At the end of the day, here's the other part of it. If the Mets go to the playoffs and he balls out, we aren't even going to talk about this anymore, because they're going to go, Juan Soto turned it on at the right moment and whammy. But if he keeps doing this, well, we're not going to keep talking about it each and every damn day. I'd rather talk about that Gavin Sheets should be an all-star, and we're going to start the all-star campaign for Gavin Sheets. I'd rather talk about that.
And I'm actually going to send out the tweet right now.
I can't believe I literally clicked on the thing. I was like, oh, Gavin Sheets is up as the tiring.
I can't believe that.
I was like, I
It's
literally,
so good.
but Brad looked over. I was like, oh my God. I was like,
About
I
to
just
do-
saw you smile like the cheesy smile.
I was like, I couldn't believe he just
All right.
did that.
Let's put out the goat emoji for him. There it was.
There you go.
Off Jeff Hoffman. Ever
Yeah.
since he stuck out his tongue or winked,
No,
what was it?
He blew the kiss.
Oh, blew the kiss.
Oh, that one was for the city of Baltimore. Hell yeah, Gavin.
Gavin's a good kid. He's a good kid. And you know what? The Padres are off to a great start to the season. Gavin, a guy that had to earn his way during spring training, bust his ass to get that opportunity. And he's thriving out there in San Diego, which, you know what they say in German means. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they mean. So if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show. We do this live every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We're back. The energy's back. Maybe Brad just had to yell a little bit, and Gavin Sheets just had to get the party going.
Gavin just needed to get the guys going. That's all that needed to happen.
Get the guys going. I wish that we could play music, without having to worry about the demonetization. I will say doing radio for 105.7 and you're coming back from the break, and I am vibing in there. They were playing some Woman Crush Wednesday, and you guys know how I feel about with some female pop or going into to some soul. And I'm bopping. I'm definitely going to be bopping after the show ends here. You know what? Is there a little bit of other baseball news, or should we go around a little bit of kind of some of the other sporting events? We'll get back to a little bit of baseball, or maybe if we have time for call-ins down the stretch to kind of, sports, because we are talking sports here. And we'll actually go back into baseball when Zach's going to tell us how his betting week is going when we make our trip up to Hollywood Casino. And it looks like he's having a great time. Hope you guys are too. But why don't we take a little bit of a movement? Are you going to be okay there, buddy?
I'm feeling great. Gavin Sheets put the city of Baltimore on his back. I don't know. I mean, I guess we didn't. I don't know if you saw Carmelo Anthony at the game last night in the Baltimore City Connect hats. I mean,
yes,
have the Orioles ever been so back?
What?
They're not fine, but they're back.
No, they're fine.
There's a very big difference. Those aren't fine, but they're back.
Depends on what the definition of fine is, but you know what? Hey, they're back on the
it's like
map.
They're fine.
They're fine.
Those are fine.
They're fine. You know who's not fine? You talk about that game, Knicks fans. The Knicks last night, I got to tell you, and I know we don't talk a lot of basketball on here, but last night I'm sitting on the couch. I'm a sports guy. I think we all. You know what? I was sitting on the couch.
But you're a basketball guy.
I'm a huge basketball guy. You kidding me? This jumper, it's wet. Here we go. I'm gonna move this thing. There. Oh, that was a hell of a toss. But so I got my feet up. I'm just relaxing. Feet are up. And I'm sitting here going, man, this game's over. It is what it is. And then all of a sudden, whammy, it's a 9-point game with a minute to go, and then Neesmith just drills a three, and then another, and then another, and then Knicks missed some foul shots, and then Tyrese Halliburton is a foot, like an Isaiah Likely toe on the line away from the Reggie Miller choke signature celebration. Of happening, but the Knicks fans were celebrating. That place was rocking. And then they lose that game. They were up 17 points in the fourth quarter.
I couldn't believe that. They were up 9 points with a minute to go.
Yeah. I don't think people okay, I'm glad you brought it up because yes, Halliburton, one, I'll get to a stat of his in a minute. Obviously, that shot as clutch as it gets. Aaron Neesmith, that might have been the hottest we've ever seen shoot because it didn't matter if he was off balance, if he was getting hit, if he fell to the ground, if it was straight up, if it was moving. It wasn't just that he was hitting every shot. Every shot only touched net. Like he was shooting it and it was just automatic. Like out of the hand, you're like money. And then Tyrese Halliburton this season, with under 2 minutes left in the game, on shots to tie or take the lead, is 12 of 14. And one of the misses was last night on the missed three that then Obi Toppin put back for the putback. But 12 for 14 this season.
I guess is he better than LeBron and Jordan all time now?
I am also now officially a Pacers fan.
I mean, how can you not be at this point?
My girlfriend's from Indiana, so I jumped right on the bandwagon.
Oh, you got to get on the bandwagon.
It is Hallie.
It is
doing that on a two. He even said after the game, he's like, "Oh, if I knew it was actually a 2, I would not have done that."
Oh, I mean, of course, you thought you won the game.
Yeah.
And Reggie Miller's calling the game, and it was Stan Van Gundy. Shout out Stan Van Gundy, friend of the show.
Well, it still applies. I mean, they still choked. He didn't win the game for him, but it still.
It was.
It still matters.
It still fits the celebration. You blew the lead. If the Knicks don't win this series, you're going to go back to game 1 here.
Oh, yeah.
And going, damn. Shirts and pants, man. We had this one. The Knicks are back. You lose this game, and then you have to win game 2. Mm-hmm. I know New York's good on the road, but Indiana, they're buzzing when they play there.
Orioles fans obviously know what it's like to go through just like extreme heartbreak and extreme loss.
Never.
But if you're a Knicks fan and a Mets fan, there's just something wrong with you.
Yeah.
You're just a masochist at that point. You just enjoy the abuse.
You know what? That could be a fun day. Which fan base has had the most suffering? I think maybe we should do a top 5, top 10. That is a great video, and we're talking about long-form content for us. Top 5, top 10 most miserable fan experiences or like fan bases that have gone through.
Yeah, the Brownies.
They're up there. They are way up there. Yeah. People were trying to say, Baltimore fans. Okay. The Orioles,
Oriole fans.
You can't say Baltimore.
You cannot say Baltimore.
No.
See, you know what I mean? No. Are we doing just fan bases of teams? Or are we doing fan bases of
teams? I would put the Orioles in that just because. But
one of the longest World Series.
Are we saying who have suffered heartbreaking moments? Because I mean, I'll be the guy. Yeah, moment here. Edwin Encarnacion off of Ubaldo, like those, but. I don't know if the Orioles were ever really great enough over the past 30 to be like,
you mean the 14 years where they didn't have a winning season?
No, but that's what I'm saying. If it's moments that suck, like who's been through the worst moments? Like I'm saying that is you just suck.
I think we have a new catalog.
I was going to say like that's splitting hairs because I would say
go 14
years.
I'd almost say Lee Evans dropping that Lee Evans, Billy Cundiff, little. 2 back-to-back play. That's more heartbreaking, and you went through a tougher moment than when we were for 14
years. Okay, but then
they
came back the next year and won a Super Bowl. My thing is
I'm saying the toughest moment.
O's fan, I'm 39 years old. I've never experienced the Orioles ever being, and you haven't either, of just being in the World Series.
Yeah.
You get to the ALCS in 2014 and then get swept by the Royals. It's just like being an Orioles fan is heartbreaking. Being a Mets fan is heartbreaking.
But then
being a Knicks fan, imagine being a Wizards fan. You know what I mean? Like you're just miserable all the time. You just know that they're going to suck, but you love them anyway.
Yeah,
it's like the dog that pisses on the floor all the time. You still love it, but it's just going to piss all over.
I'd say for a while into the last 2 years, the Detroit Lions have had a lot of sucking for decades.
Yeah.
They haven't won in ever, Brad, in ever. That's rough. Also, I want to shout out anyone said about my ankle socks and Cole Haan shoes. Yep. Oh, this way. Nope. Oh, that's a cramp. Got
to stretch it out.
You know what? The flexibility. That's why I was doing the bar class. Have you guys ever done a bar class?
I have not.
No. Well, you could have done a bar class on Wednesday with
me. What is it? Like a ballerina bar class?
Oh, no, you have a bar, but it's kind of like, how would I describe it? It's you can use minimal weight, but it's a lot of then like body movements, holding. You're going to hear the word tuck and pulse a lot. and tuck
Jesus.
and pulse.
Okay.
But it really engages your core quite a bit. So I'd say bar, it's very technical, but it's not going to, knock you out.
Oh, yeah. Bills fans right up there.
Yeah. Bills fans are up there. But yeah, so it's like works on the core. Core for me was feeling solid. We were getting it right. We were getting it tight. So it was good. To the point though of that, Bills losing 4 straight Super Bowls. I saw it say that about 4 straight Super Bowls, which that's amazing.
Yeah.
And you lose every single one of them.
That's almost impressive.
Yeah, I'm not even mad. I'm impressed. We're bad. Rick, I saw you, and Rick, don't think I didn't see you talk about Ripken's being slow. I'm not saying that we're definitely not built for speed.
No,
it's not. But you get this engine going.
It's like a diesel.
But the Wizards, because they changed their name from the Bullets.
That's
Baltimore
cursed.
Bullets, Washington Bullets.
Yep.
Should have stayed.
Should have.
Wizards are cool though.
Clippers, you're a Clippers fan.
Clippers, yeah. Steve Ballmer out there. They're trying.
Yeah.
They're trying out there. Saw British Raven said in here, because I wanted to give him a shout out that he hung a doormat. I think he said that. Did I miss that?
No, I think he hung a door.
Rehung a bathroom door. That's even more impressive.
Successfully repaired and rehung my bathroom door.
Amazing.
Well done, my sir.
Amazing.
Well done.
Look at the energy coming back. And Kelly, Lama, I know my mom loves basketball. She loved watching me play inside sport, time games, air conditioning in the summertime. Time games. Back when there wasn't a pitch clock.
Yeah.
And you might be down a hell of a lot of runs and they're taking 30, 40 seconds in between pitches. And you're playing down in, I don't know, Charleston, South Carolina. It's 97 degrees and you're getting your shit kicked in. Now it feels great. Feels great. It's better to watch it too.
But you're in Charleston, so hey.
We were in Charleston.
Worst places to get your shit kicked.
Well, you want me to talk about the places other places that's happened? Salem, Virginia, and we're down by 18, and we're just saying this giant storm's coming. I see the lightning on the horizon. I'm just out there like just end it. Just end it. It's
I'm sure Kannapolis was a great place to play. Too.
Oh my gosh. The new stadium's phenomenal. The old stadium, if we're going to do the rating scale, yeah, it's well below a
Actually,
D-.
my boy did all the AV work in that new stadium.
Really?
Yeah.
The new one?
Yeah. Also a close friend of Christian's. They went to college together. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I got to see it. I've heard a lot of great things in the Kannapolis Intimidators, named with Dale Earnhardt Sr.
Yeah.
He's being the Intimidator.
That's his hometown.
Hometown out there. Racing, all down there.
Oh, yeah.
Corn dogs.
Mooresville, Huntsville, Huntersville,
and corn dogs, Jackie. Corn dogs for all these people. But you know what? We don't have corn dogs for all these people, but we do have a lot of comments here to say what? Yeah, I mean, it's exactly right.
I love you, Ryan, but if there's clouds out, I ain't coming.
I will get a text from my mom before the game. Rain's in the horizon. And honestly, I tell her, I'm like, hey, if it was me, I'm not coming either. Because every time it's a 5% chance, that's actually when it monsoons too.
Yeah, that's true.
And when it's like 80%, then you're sitting there. Oh, I can't. There's so many times we've been sitting in a dugout. You're like, hey, we're 80% chance, but hey, stay ready because we might start the game. And I'm like, no, we're not. We're not going to start. And then sure enough, we start and then it's pouring everywhere and you're playing this game like, okay, is this a bat could even count? Like what's happening here? And then you strike out and you go for the first 2 and then you play the whole game. And you're like, this is awful.
Yeah.
And then the 5% where you're eager to get out there and it just dumps and you're chilling for a while. And then that heat that comes from after it rains, sometimes it flushes and gets to like 60 or 70.
Yeah.
Or the other one, the humidity rises.
Oh, it's just disgusting.
And it's like a soup kitchen,
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Dirty Mike and the Boys. Zach, what movie?
Oh, it's the other guys.
Yeah. You are the Kevin when he's not here.
That's why I'm saying, like, Kevin takes a lot of pressure off me. It really is nice when Kevin's here.
It does. It does, Tom. Thank you. Thank you very much. We're good.
Shaved.
Hey, you might think because of the beard, Zach, that I'm really hairy. but I'm not. Christina, get my wife's name right. I think maybe on one of the days we just kind of
peacock.
Gotta let me fly.
Gosh, that has to be one of the most quotable movies of all time. I feel like I know almost every line.
It is so good. It is so good. And maybe this is great. You know, we talk so much about baseball and sports, and we got to loosen it up. And I'm glad we can loosen it up on this Thursday as we get closer to the weekend. And this is also what we talked about in sports. Like the Orioles, they're 16 games under 500. But you got to have fun and recognize that, hey, shit's not going to go your way. How do you reset your mind? Just like this, we were walking in, and I thought Zach like pooped his pants coming over here. He looked mad. He looked sad. He looked like a sad puppy.
It was raining.
Somebody kicked his dog.
Yeah, something happened.
It was raining, you know. I hate the rain.
Yeah, but you know what?
Orioles
Look,
games canceled.
that's what the Orioles, let me get philosophical. Put the camera, here we go. That's the Orioles season right now, right? It just feels like it's raining every day. But you know what? Take a deep breath. And that's what the players have to do. That's what we have to do in life here. If you don't like my philosophical tips, that's fine. But at least hit that like and subscribe button, because the Ryan Ripken Show, we do this every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday right here. We talk a lot of sports. We've had Buck Showalter, Freddie Gonzalez, Sam Perlazzo, Dave Tremblay, all managers of the Orioles at one point on this week. We will have more football guests as we get closer, and we will continue to do breakdowns and talk about everything involved in the sports world, and we're going to have fun with it. But you know what? There is a little bit of football news that we didn't talk about before we get back into the baseball conversations. Two things. One, Raven related, and the other one is rule related. Should we just talk about the rule related? Push, and the tush is coming back. The tush push is not banned.
For at least another year.
For at least another year. You need to get at least, 75% of the vote?
They need 24 votes against it, and they got 22.
So they got 22 against. I didn't realize it was that close.
Yeah, it was. They needed 2 more votes against, and it would have been gone.
Weren't the Ravens?
Ravens were for it.
For it? Yeah.
Yep.
You know,
Bills
why?
were against it, which was weird.
You know why the Ravens are for it?
Because of Kohler.
Because the Kohler and the Andrews, like that whole, because
I also feel like the Ravens are
if
big.
They ban the tush push, then that's next.
Yeah, I feel like the Ravens are also like a big, like, hey, if you don't want it to happen, stop them before type team. Where Harbaugh and them are like, if they want to get a single yard on a quarterback sneak, so be it. We got to stop them the plays before.
Right.
So I think that's probably.
Or stop them on that play. Figure it out.
I wasn't surprised that the Ravens were.
The tush push, any team can do it. They just don't. Philly somehow.
Some teams are really
figured
bad
it
at
out.
it, actually.
Yeah.
Who tried it? Was it the Bills who tried it like 3 straight times and kept getting stuffed?
Well, that was in the playoffs. Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Had the chance. It's a good point where you can say, hey, if you don't, let me back it up. If you don't like it, stop it.
Yeah.
And also, there are teams that are better at it than others. Like the Eagles, yes, that's the blueprint for it. They're also the best at it. Yeah. They are. But also you can look at teams that can't replicate it like the Eagles did.
Mm-hmm.
Teams are getting better at it, but you can tell. And the Eagles got stopped a little bit more with it this year. Still a high percentage, but that's the point. It's just like with anything. Every team can do it. So why don't you try to perfect it? Don't complain about it. But the reality is not every team can do it that way. We saw it throughout football, but it does make you think that the change might come next year. If things continue to go that way or it becomes a fatigued play. Sounds like the vote could move for that for 26. One thing that is not happening and was withdrawn, the playoff seeding. The Lions took that back. So you guys, if you don't know, is about the playoff seeding of saying record-based, not just that you win your division. And the Lions, it was coming off of they were in a division where, yes, they were the number 1 overall seed, but then the Vikings, the Packers were 2 teams that really could have had a playoff game. The Vikings in particular, they had beaten the Lions. They would have had the number 1 seed in the NFC, right? Instead, they go on the road. They lose to the Rams. Their season's done. They withdrew that. I'm in for leaving the divisions. I like the divisions where it's important and it varies from year to year, the strength. But I wouldn't mind if there's some sort of conversation, maybe for like the 4th seed. If you're like the 4th division winner, you have to, go on the road or something like that. But I think winning your division should still matter. I still like that. Do you guys have like a difference on that one?
No,
I agree.
You win your division, you get to host a home game.
Yeah, period.
Yeah. So that was that. They moved the onside kick a yard closer for the kicking team.
Yeah, they're trying to make it a higher percentage play from it was like 6% last year, and they're trying. I don't know.
The rules with the onside kick are so dumb.
It's so dumb, and now you can
announcing
call it
it
anytime.
Yeah, it's just dumb. I don't even understand the point of having it anymore.
They're eventually just going to do the 4th and 20, and you get one attempt if you make first down.
Wow.
They'll just go to that. I think that's eventually where they go, because like you said, the whole you have to announce it ahead of time. Now we're moving it up further, and like soon it's going to be like, okay, we're 8 yards closer. You just have to touch it, and it's just a scrum. Like I don't understand the whole point of like where they're like, yeah, we're trying to make it a higher percentage play. Why? Isn't it supposed to be like nearly impossible? Like that's the whole point of it. You're not supposed to get the football back after you score.
Can we just go back to where it also can be spontaneous?
Yeah.
I don't want to. I want to have a wild onside kick. I know that it's safety of the game, and I do understand that. But I love that the Super Bowl still comes back to me in New Orleans versus the Colts. I thought that was one of the boldest calls in NFL history, definitely Super Bowl history. And it ended up being one of the biggest changing points in one of the most monumental games. The Saints recover. They go on to come back, win the game. And it was off of a spontaneous onside kick, caught the team off guard. But safety is a priority as you continue to grow the game, which I understand. And one other note, actually, since I just mentioned the Colts, speaking of the Colts, owner Jim Irsay just passed away at 65. And it seemed like obviously there were health complications for some time, but definitely things were more close to the vest when talking about it. And 65 years old, when you think about that.
It's not old.
No. And I know I saw the comment about how does Baltimore feel with the Irsay news, because Jim Irsay's father was the one that took the Colts out of Baltimore years ago. I don't like to look at it that way. I like to look at it from the human being side of it, and that's, I feel thoughts and prayers for the Irsay family. It's a really challenging time, I'm sure. I think you can separate the football decision and move from someone that didn't have anything to do with that decision, from, just the grieving standpoint of that. Because that is, for me, it's hearing it's not, I guess, a surprise, but it's an unexpected thing that's popping up on the news in the offseason that one of the owners passes away, especially one that, when you think about age-wise, 65 is still a very, very young age in the grand scheme of life. You don't know what life's going to throw at you, but rest in peace. And hopefully, again, thoughts and prayers are with the Colts organization, with the Irsay family. Now let's pick it back up a little bit. Let's go talk about the team that's currently in Baltimore. The Ravens. Zach, I'm standing back up. And Mom, I'm seeing you're driving. Kelly, so you can listen, because we do put it out after the show on Spotify and Apple, but you have to listen on YouTube when we're live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So Kelly, no watching. You can listen to me, listen to my harmonic voice as I continue to speak and tell you what's about to happen with the Ravens, or at least the Ravens news that we have. It's not news, but it's kind of a interesting interaction, Brad.
Yeah.
Isaiah Likely is talking with Kay Adams on the Up and Adams show about Cincinnati. And you know what? Joe Burrow made comments earlier that he would like to have a home primetime game against the Ravens. Well, Isaiah Likely had some comments specifically about the Bengals here. So let's play that clip.
Is the 4th straight year that you're playing at home in primetime against the Bengals. And the Bengals fans not happy about that. How meaningful is it to you to have those games at the bank?
Man, I mean, if you've ever been to the bank on a Monday night, Thursday night, when the crowd's rocking, they start the game off, everything go pitch black. You see the purple lights go out. Oh, you know the crowd's about to be rocking. And I feel like, the Bengals always got, just happen to have those type games where if you come to the bank when you see them purple lights go on and the fans are ready. I mean, they know it's a divisional game. They know it's the Bengals. They don't like us. We don't like them. And we love the atmosphere. We love playing at the bank because now we get to just tee off and have fun and have the crowd on our side as well.
Do you know that Bengals fans are upset about this? Have you heard about this?
I seen the little clip. I mean,
From Joe
saying that he wants a game in Cincinnati out there on prime time.
What do you think of that?
I mean, I don't even know what their stadium is called. I just know, when you come to the bank, on prime time television, I mean, that's just somewhere nobody else want to be.
You don't know what their stadium, you just gave bulletin board material to Joe and company. Look what you just did. I thought you were going to say, yeah, we'll go there and we'll beat you all the same.
I mean, that's just common knowledge. I just didn't know their stadium.
Gosh.
I just know the bank.
Well, I think you should enjoy this last time at the bank, because I think it'll be at Paycor in Cincy next year.
I don't even know what the stadium is. The stadium, just to clarify for everyone, it's Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
But that was a funny thing. I don't even know, but the bank, that's really what it is. Hey, meet me at the bank, right? It's so easy in Baltimore.
It is. The
bank.
Paycor is just a payroll company.
Mm-hmm. Wait, so they changed it from Paycor from Paul. It used to be Paul
It's
Brown.
still Paul Brown, but
Paul Brown Paycor Stadium.
Yeah.
But he didn't give either answer there.
No,
him.
No.
I award you no points, Isaiah, there, but it's okay. That was a talking point. I mean, Joe Burrow, they even said they wanted a primetime game in Baltimore. And earlier on 105.7 The Fan, I was saying, if my memory is correct, didn't the Ravens play primetime games in Pittsburgh, it felt like, for a string of years over and over again? It was like 3 straight years or something. Yeah. Christmas Day was one of those, which I don't want to relive that one. That was a tough one. My sister and I played a game of you take a shot for a touchdown and you have to take 2 if there's a turnover. There's a lot of action towards the end of that game. It's a fun holiday until it wasn't. But yeah, I mean, I don't blame Bengals fans and Burrow for wanting to have a home game, but at the same time, the Ravens and every other team have their own scheduling frustrations over years. I mean, the Ravens were away on Christmas for a second straight year. They're not away this year. Great. Hey, they're going to Kansas City again. It's a part of it. They're opening in Buffalo on Sunday night, primetime. They hadn't had a lot of primetime home games. Was the only when they flexed the Steelers game, right? Or wasn't even flex. It was a 4:00 game.
Yeah, it was 4:00.
So the only primetime home game last year for the Ravens was Bengals. Am I not mistaken?
Mm-hmm.
Until the playoffs.
Bills.
Oh, I forgot about it. So there was 2 last year.
Yeah.
So they started to give the Ravens a little bit more.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
I like it.
But point being is, I understand frustrations, but teams over years, they all have it.
Hey, you know what? Cincinnati, just do better. I don't know what to tell you.
One thing we're talking about scheduling, whether you play Baltimore at home or not.
Maybe make the playoffs this year and see what happens.
I think the bigger part that I see, it has nothing to do with the Ravens since that game's on Thanksgiving. How about the games in September? You got to, beat New England at home to start the season. You're in the playoffs. They would have been in, right? If they had beaten the Patriots week 1, they would have been in. They are awful starters. Now, if this game was in September.
They went what? 0-4 to start the season?
I think they were 1-3.
1-3, something like that. It was an abysmal start. It was either 0-2 or 0-3.
Not good, Bob.
No.
Not good,
Funny
Bob.
enough, it's actually very similar to, I feel like, the Orioles season, where it's like high expectations, and then to start, you're like, whoa, this escalated really fast. I feel like getting those same vibes.
They started 0-3.
Yeah.
And they lost that game at home to Washington. So you had 2 home games, and you lost both. They lost that tough one at Kansas City.
Yep.
Pass interference, late call on 4th down. And then they went to Carolina and won and got on the board. And then they came to Baltimore at 1-3 in that wild Baltimore went to Cincy and had that wild game and won in overtime.
Yeah.
And then, they started to get it going a little bit, but then the nail in the coffin was that loss at home to Baltimore. And then they ended up losing 2 more straight. Chargers and lost to the Steelers 44-38. But whammy. Man, football, it's kind of close, but it's not at the same time.
I was going to say we're officially in that part of the offseason where we're sitting here talking about schedules as like the talking points. Like, I just like OTAs are like, rookie mini camps are over. Like, it's just like guys are out of the castle. It's like, we don't have training camp for another 2 months. Just like that lull period right now.
It really is. And honestly, let's just be honest. I'll say honest one more time, maybe one more time. Let's be honest. Even the preseason, nothing's truly exciting. You just hope for no bad news, right? You just hope that there's no injury that happens. There's not going to be really any crazy move, in my opinion. At this point in time, you have what you have, maybe some extensions, maybe there could be some trouble. That's always usually that pops up, but it's usually more negatives than positives when it gets to this part of the season. Then you get to the season and, everyone can act accordingly. It's still crazy to me that the overreactions for a 162 game for baseball are so much higher than a 16-game season in football, where really you get off to a slow start like the Bengals did, you're playing catch up. Now for the Orioles, though, it's a little bit more than the slower start. You're in a hole here. You're deep in the hole. Some say the ladder broke off halfway. So you got to try to repair that thing, or you're going to have to climb your way out somehow, some way. And Brad, I see you typing away. Are you have any polls going or just?
I don't. I'm trying to multitask.
Oh, you're good.
My apologies.
You're good. I thought you had something cooking over there.
I could.
That's okay. It's okay. But you know what we do have cooking? I think it's good time to start cooking up what Bali and his Bali bets have been doing, how he's been doing this week. Yeah. So why don't we take a quick trip up to our friends at Hollywood Casino, Charlestown Races in West Virginia. A little bit off, but the energy was there. Don't look at me.
Like, I was about to segue into my thing. I was going to say a little bit off like my bets, but you just I was giving you the
little bit off like your bets. Hey, let's check in on Bali's bets this week.
the wincing.
Shohei Ohtani last night was your prediction.
Yeah, just absolutely disgusting. Disgusting.
You want to talk about it?
Gambler. Thought he respected the game. Shohei Ohtani, 2 bases.
Thought he respected the game.
Oh my God.
There we are. I am going to just. I need to see one go in the hoop. We're going Stephen Kwan 2+ bases against Jack Flaherty tonight. Stephen Kwan, I'm tired of watching my guys that I picked to get 2+ bases strike out. So I'm going with the guy that just doesn't strike out. So unfortunately for Stephen Kwan, he's probably going to strike out 4 times tonight. So apologies to him ahead of time. But Stephen Kwan, 2+ bases. That's where we're going.
So the picks this week were Ohtani yesterday.
It's the former Orioles that are killing me because
and Austin Hayes.
Yeah. Austin Hayes the first night, 0 for 2 or 2+ bases, goes 0 for 5. Then Corbin Burnes just decides, to go off yesterday. Shohei actually has a very good career against Corbin.
But not yesterday.
Not yesterday until Corbin then decides to give up the 3-run homer in the 6th as his only blemish. But
so former Orioles are ruining your bets.
Yes, I'm saying away. Oh my gosh. And Jack Flaherty's a former Oriole. Oh my gosh. I just realized.
Yeah, I don't know what you're thinking there.
Steve, it's sticking with it.
We're sticking with it because if I go back on it, my next bet will lose and this one will hit. So I'm just going to stick with this. Sorry, Stephen Kwan.
Hey, you know what?
Well, so this is a Cleveland. This is Cleveland, right?
Yeah.
So there's actually there's a parlay on ESPN bet right now. The Cleveland Detroit game. They're all touching base. It's plus 911 over 1.5 bases. Jose Ramirez, Gleyber Torres, and Kerry Carpenter all over 1.5. I mean, it might be worth checking out, Zach. Just saying.
It might be.
Plus 911, that ain't bad.
So it's 100 to win, 911.
They all get over 2 bases, they all get 2 bases or more.
That's what you need.
I kind of like those odds.
If you're feeling frisky.
Maybe not Glaber, but
if you're feeling frisky, and if you are feeling frisky also, and you're looking to use ESPN Bet, watch out, under 2 seconds, Zach, whammy. Just like that, if you sign up for ESPN Bet, new player bonus, you get $100 if you bet 10. So bet 10, get 100 in bonus bets. And then on top of it, you're going to get 30 days of ESPN Plus on them. And it's that simple. Download the app, ESPN Bet, but you must be 21 or older. And if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or call our good old friend Rocco DeSangro. He'll help you, point you in the right direction. And guys, we're going up there June 28th to Hollywood Casino for our next show. So stop traffic. We'll be up there. And you know what I'm excited about? We're trying to figure out who the Orioles guest could be. But we know the Nationals guest, Mr. National. Ryan Zimmerman is going to be up there at Hollywood Casino in Charlestown Race. It's an hour and a half from Baltimore, hour and a half from D.C. Come hang out with us, watch some ball. And as we always do up there, Zach, we take our celebratory tequila shot.
Yeah. Kevin suffers through the celebratory tequila shot.
He certainly does. He certainly does. But, hey, we appreciate our friends up at Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races. Yeah, West Virginia. What happened now?
Gavin Sheets
did it again.
Go ahead, single in the 11th.
There we go. Talk dirty.
5 RBIs on the day. What is he on the day?
And honestly, it makes
3 for 5, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs.
That's awesome.
He's batting 286 on the season.
I mean, I think it's safe to say, was the Orioles' biggest mistake not signing Gavin Sheets?
Listen, he was a free agent this offseason. We wanted him to come home. We definitely did.
Oh, he wanted to come home. You kidding me? You know, only one other guy can rival Nick Moore's love for golf. It's going to be Gavin.
Yes.
It's up there. It's up there. They both love.
I didn't realize the Padres were sliding like this.
Oh, yeah. It's been a little bit of a tough stretch for them.
Well, you know what? You know who picks them up? Gavin Sheets.
Padres, I think, are 3rd in their division, aren't they?
They are. It's a good division. So it's a
best division of baseball right now.
Yeah, them
except for the Rockies.
Well, then so it's the AL Central in the American League, and then it's the NL West.
Yeah,
4 teams in the AL Central are just moving and grooving, and then in the NL West, you got the Dodgers, World Series favorites, the Giants, who are playing incredible baseball,
yes.
Culture change, Buster Posey.
Yep,
they are doing a great job. And then D-backs are fighting, and then the San Diego Sheetses are doing their thing. Did they pinch run Gavin, or is he still in the game? I hope so. I hope he's still in the game.
He's still on first.
Oh, there it is. Give him the green light.
If he steals a base, I swear to God.
If he steals, does he have a stolen base this year? We're checking.
There is no chance. I would put so much money.
How much you want to put on it?
Then I don't know about that then.
Because Gavin Sheets stopped traffic. He's stolen a base this year.
Whoa.
What can't he do for your team? You know, you say what's like UPS's slogan is "What can Brown do for you?"
Yeah.
It's like what can't Sheets do for you?
Yeah.
Good kid. Proud of him, man.
Sheets is better than Wawa.
Ooh, that's a debate. We did stop at a lot of Sheets during the minor league excursions.
Yeah.
Getting those shakes and the sandwiches, I gotta say, was a nice touch. I know in this region, Wawa's rule the place.
They still have the $1 hot dogs too. 2 hot dogs for $2.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Maybe they increase. Maybe it might be $3, but 2 hot dogs for $3. It's still
a great deal. We love a good deal, don't we, Zach?
Yes, we do.
He's going to be okay.
I don't know.
I think he's back down the dumps because we brought up his bets.
No. I'm trying to find Gavin Sheets stolen base.
Oh, you're trying to actually find
the video.
Trying to find the video here.
I gotta see what the time was looking like here.
Oh man, hey, it's been a good. We've picked up the energy. It's been a good show. Yeah. I love when we have our guests because obviously our audience loves the guests.
Yeah.
People love Buck Showalter and Freddie. and Dave and Sam Perlazzo. But it's nice when we can just riff a little bit.
Yeah.
And talk a little bit about all of the good things and maybe some good old days and memories. You know, one of those memories, guys, I have is back for me back to 2010. I told you about that. A young Ryan Ripken, 16-year-old, I think at the time. Yep, 16. Won the championship. Knocked out the Dons in the semifinals, Zach.
All right.
Yeah, I got a walk-off single in that too.
Way to make him more depressed.
Yeah.
Do you want me to pull that video? Can we find that video?
Yeah, I would love you to.
You want to? Oh, it's a funky stance. You want me to find it? I have it.
I'm just over here trying to find Gavin Sheets being a base threat. He actually is in the 43rd percentile for sprint speed.
Yeah.
Didn't realize he was like that.
Wait, that's actually a fact.
Or yeah, 26.9 miles per hour. Or no,
What?
feet per second.
Yeah, it's heel cinnamon.
No way he was talking.
Heel
Yeah,
cinnamon.
my bad.
Here, it's actually on YouTube. Here, I'll pull the video for you. We can relive it together.
Copyrighted. I'm not gonna be upset about it. I hope we get copyright for this.
You
Demonetization because of this YouTube video.
Hey, you know what? These teams put it to us. Next year, Loyola beat us.
I'm calling Loyola to put in a copyright strike.
Don't worry. We'll pull it up here in a second. But flashback, throwback Thursday here. It's fun to look back. At least I like to look back at the memories because time does go quickly. And life sometimes can be tough. It can be rough, but you got to cherish the moments that you had, but also enjoy the moments that you're in. I'll be first to tell you guys, I get stressed a lot. You guys know how much I want this to grow and how much I am passionate about this line of work and what we're doing and what we're trying to build here. And that's why I thank all of you guys in the community, because you guys have helped us continue to grow. We are still only about 21 months in to this entire thing. And yet the growth that we've had, it's from the consistency of the work, but it doesn't matter at all for our consistency if we don't have the community that's helped us get to where we are. And that's why we appreciate our members. If you're new to the channel, hit that like button. If you want to be a part of the Rips Good Kids or the Holy Shirts and Pants members, subscribe to the channel. It helps us. We try to make this better. We're trying to get off the ground instead of being the bootlegging operation, which I think we do a pretty good job of, Brad.
Yeah.
But it always helps, and it does go back to the funding for this. So we appreciate each and every one of you. What do you got?
I want to know, just to put it in perspective for those of you who watch the show, year to date, the channel is at 1.4 million views.
Yeah. Thank you.
Which is pretty awesome.
For us, the first year, we're thinking, dang, Brad and I, when we were doing this, we had 6 people watching. I think one of them was Joe. One of them might have been Rick and Kelly. Probably the other one.
Definitely Kelly.
And that's that, so it really means the world to us. Oh, Tom. Hey, Zach, show a little energy. Act like you want to bet. Act like you just want to bet.
This is what we do.
That's what you do?
This is what Tom does.
Did he not hear me of saying act like you want to? Is that what you do when you want to bet? Or is that your press conference?
Act like you've been there.
Okay. Hey, hey, Tom, you are
right.
the man, Tom. We appreciate you. No, okay, let's act like yesterday I was giving my my how you come out of the kitchen, those types of things, press conference. Hey, Zach, tonight Stephen Kwan came through to you. It looked close. That final at bat, though, hit the double to knock home your bet. Walk us through the emotions and what you're kind of feeling right now.
Never a doubt. I'm just here so I don't get fined. It's as simple as that. Another day in the office.
That's all I get from you?
Another day in the office. We're back at it tomorrow. Hard work, First guy in, last one out.
I hate that answer. Fire him. Fire him. He has got no heart, Brad.
I know.
No heart. No heart. Fire. You know what? Fire the
just
staff.
Another day in paradise. It's another day in paradise. Here we are. Baltimore, Maryland.
It's raining.
Theos are fine.
Beautiful. You know what's beautiful too? You know what's beautiful, Zach? You know that George Bush that says, we must stop the terror. Now watch this drive. And why don't we must stop the terror. Now watch this Gilman winner against the Loyola Dons 15 years ago. Here, it's fun to look back. At least
Is that legal?
Smacked it. Smack it. There it
Oh,
is.
just a single.
Oh, walk-off single, getting the job done, man,
I
on
thought this
third
was
base.
going over the fence.
I didn't have a lot of homers in high school. All right.
You didn't really have a lot of homers.
I didn't. Not a lot. I started to figure out some power. And you want to calm down there? How many homers you have over there? Jackass. Damn. How many homers do you have, Zach?
Let's see. Where was this pitch? Where was this pitch?
It's high. Man, I look like a statue. Oh, look at that guy.
Look at that high step.
Yep. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Right up the middle. Right back where it's pitched. Yeah, that field, this is the field when we had no fence for a while, then we had a little fence.
Yep.
It's beautiful, Zach.
You know,
you can play it out if you want.
I was just looking for. He hung it. It's a hanger. Kid hung it.
Oh,
this was our closer. This was.
Wow, you're gonna blame the closer now, huh?
I mean, if you're gonna, you can't get in that situation. You gotta. I would have curveball in the dirt. Now you're swinging. You're fishing.
You know the thing for me when we actually talk about the home run side of it and all of that whole situation. Oh, sorry. It was a lot of guys I've noticed. Like I was a guy that I felt like I had a lot of power. I could hit the ball extremely hard. Like that was my thing. I could hit the ball really hard. But how do you translate that to the game? That was my hardest. Besides getting out of my own head. Getting out of my head was number one. Number two was how do you then use your skills to be able to drive the baseball the way that you want? Because one of the furthest balls I ever hit off my life or in my life was off Greg Holland in the playoffs in 2019 in AA. And I hit this ball a mile. And I'm sitting there around the base like that was cool. And I'm like, dang, can I just do that more often? Right? That's the hard thing. And that's Eddie Murray talked about being a 5 o'clock hitter.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't pay you to hit home runs for batting practice. It's true.
Yeah.
It's how do you do it in the game? Cedric Mullins, to me, said he would not try to do anything in BP. He would just try to hit line drives the other way, keep it low, wouldn't even flirt with trying to hit a bomb. And then he just, right now, he's got 10 jacks on the year. He averages 15 to 20 some home runs. You know, you got to find what works for you. Then Pete Alonso just wants to put everything out. And guess what? He kind of does. So good for Pete Alonso. Oh, goodness. Good kids. I had one other video I wanted to show you, Zach. Make you feel good. Dang. I just had it. Just had the thought. Oh, no, it was the other video because they were talking about leg kicks. I had a huge leg kick in my final year too. And that was the one when I was putting together the story about in Memphis drinking tequila, doing push-ups, and I hit a home run the next day. That video is out there too, Zach. If you want to, you want me to send you that one too, or do you want me to frame?
Yeah, if you could. I'm still on the hunt. I think I'm getting.
You think you can find a Gavin Sheets stolen base? Is that what we're looking for?
I'm on the day of it. I'm looking through.
Oh, you're looking like in Baseball Savant?
Yeah, I found the day. It's on March. Was it the?
I like how
March
this became
30th.
the Gavin Sheets show.
I know.
But you know what? Maryland proud. Hey, they got a couple of Maryland guys out there. Jackson Merrill as well. Severna Park guy. Amazing. I think we're getting close, though. We've kind of reached all of our content that we need for the day, right? Is there anything I'm missing, Brad, Zach? No? And I guess what we can – and, Mouse Talk, let's talk a little bit about this, actually. I don't care about home runs. Learn to hit and hit well. And in time, if you have the power, the home runs will come. Players are paid to hit, not hit home runs. Well, it used to be that way. I agree. I think the biggest thing when you are younger is to learn how to hit the ball hard consistently. Hit it hard somewhere. And then as you learn yourself over time, that's where you can continue to develop and then also get out of your head. I told you guys this. My worst enemy was Ryan Ripken. I could not get out of my head when I played. That's why I focus so much on the mental side of it. But for a lot of other hitters, you don't need to learn how to loft the ball or try to get the ball in the air. If it works for you, great. But the biggest thing is what works for you. Figure that part out. And once you can do that, then you can have the building blocks overall over and over and over again. And Brooks, I appreciate you. I saw you shout out my Cole Hans. You had some movie quotes, and no, my shirt is not coming off yet. Stay tuned for maybe Rip After Dark for that. And Brooks, I know, is coming back in to the region. You know, we got to see Brooks for a little bit down in Sarasota.
Yeah, I'm sorry I missed him.
Yeah. Well, technically in his mind, he might have missed us, you know? So
does he even remember being down in spring training?
Oh, you know what I got to say? Those guys, they were working. They were on a little bit of a bender, and they kept showing up.
I know how Rogers can be.
It was impressive. Yeah, Ripped After Dark. That's what we're focusing on here in 2025. I actually got to get a little bit more back on my discipline. I used to be really, really disciplined, but life happens, Brad.
Sure does.
Life, sports, kids.
Sports?
Yes, sports. Zach, did you find?
I'm starting to think he did it on a wild pitch. I think I found the play, but I don't.
So you think they awarded him?
I think they awarded. I think he did it on Jason Hayward's strikeout, and then it says wild pitch by Smith Schroeder, and then Gavin Sheets to second. So it's kind of crazy if that's what they're. No, never mind. Next thing, he stole second.
Do we have the video?
No, I'm trying to find it. So they have got to have this somewhere. There's no way Gavin Sheets stole a base and we just don't got video proof of it.
Unfortunately, right now the Blue Jays might pull this off.
Yeah, he stole it in the bottom of the third.
Yeah,
this is my life's goal right now.
It is. And we can send it to Gavin, even though there was some good Gavin moments. But for the Padres, they winning runs on third base for the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays win this game. They're over 500. They'd be the only other team in the division over 500 with the Yanks. AL East, man, has that been the most disappointing division as far as it goes? At least for the expectation. Like, it's usually always the gauntlet. It's always the AL Beast.
Yeah. Not this season.
Not this season.
Blue Jays just won.
The Blue Jays just won. Is that Nathan Lukes? Yes, it is. Played against him when he was on the Durham Bulls.
Well, and Gavin did everything he could to win that game.
You know what? If there was 9 other Gavin Sheets,
yeah,
they would have won running away.
You think Gavin's like, way to go, guys?
Yeah.
Did everything I could.
Yeah, it sounds
not my
like
fault.
Gavin.
The rest of you suck.
Yeah. That's Gavin for you.
I mean, it
sure.
sounds like him to me.
Yeah. It's all he's ever said.
That he's the best.
That's all that's all he ever
he
asked.
just pisses excellence. He's the best there ever was.
Wakes up in the morning.
Yep.
And if he didn't want excellent, then he would have named his kids Dr. Quinn and Medicine Woman.
That's right.
If he really wanted to.
Zach has no idea who we're talking about.
0.
No idea.
I think one day too, and that's when Kelly will fit in my mom with that. She'll love the movie quotes. She'll go with the stories. But
I've never actually done movie quotes with your mom before.
Well, she has some of them. She likes the Wedding Crashers quotes.
Oh,
that's
okay.
That's it.
I got it.
Come on. And then Austin Powers is a big family movie for us.
Oh, yeah, I knew that.
Big family movie for us.
I haven't seen Kelly in a minute.
I know. She's been hiding. She's been hurting a little bit. She's been hurting Buckaroo.
Oh.
Hip's been bothering her.
Yeah.
So we got to put our Pilates mother-son class on hold.
Yeah.
Kelly crushes Pilates.
She could do yoga.
Well, I think we're going to try to heal the hip.
Oh, I see.
Heal the hip. Alex, any news on Bradish and Wells? There's nothing to really report besides status quo. I talked to Wells the other night, and hey, buddy, he's good. Buddy's good. Wells is good. Bradish, they're progressing the way that they hope to, but there's nothing to report, which is not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing. You want them to continue to stay the course. And Rick, appreciate you, man. Do you remember the first show talking about the birds? Brad, it's going way back.
I do remember the first show talking about the birds.
June 2023.
Yeah,
first show we did.
End of June, yeah.
End of June was the first show we did. and we had the camera in this corner to the left, looking back this way.
And we, I don't even remember what we talked about that first episode. Was that what we didn't bring up the jock strap that episode? It was very early on. We talked about jock straps.
Is that one? Is that the first one about the young jock straps?
It might have been somewhere around there.
Oh goodness,
Rick probably remembers that episode.
Yeah, I mean Rick was one of the ones from the start.
Yeah,
I remember the one Shintaro Fujinami, because a group in Japan took the entire video that we did and posted it on their channel. We got that alert.
Ryan's co-host doesn't know ball.
That was an early one too.
That was a good one.
Kyle Tucker hit the grand slam in the 9th. And then that clip erupted over social media. That was a good time.
Hey, Bautista's blowing games again, so whatever.
Dang. I like all the movie quotes that are being thrown in. And I know I see guys, yes, we still want to do call-ins. Do we have time today? What are we going to do?
No, we don't.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
If we started at 2:30, we probably would.
Yeah, and I blame that because this week, for those that know, it's been a little bit rough scheduling. I'm also on 105.7 again tomorrow from 12 to 2, and I'm also doing the pregame show for 105.7 again tomorrow. So you hear a lot of me. I am going to try to do more breakdowns for the members, and in those member kind of conversations, do some call-ins so we can chat, and we will get back on a schedule of doing call-ins when the weeks normalize, because we do love this. And don't worry, we will get on that normal cadence. Zach and Kevin, you guys have created that cadence quite a bit when it comes to our guests on the week.
Yeah,
like today would have been a good day. You're right. If I was able to get here earlier and start on time, because I got to run back up to do an event tonight
and tomorrow morning.
And we have the event tomorrow morning. We don't sleep here.
Yeah, so you want to support the Carroll County Youth Services Bureau, come on out to Westminster, the Westminster Green Turtle. Ryan and I will be there at 10 o'clock a.m.
Yep.
10 a.m. to 11 a.m.
Yeah. Hey, Joe, I get it. I think we're getting blasted left and right here, man. Yeah, I mean, 20 minutes of Gavin Sheets talk, we might have needed 40. Might have needed 50. And I'm sorry if it cut in the call-ins. I'm working on it.
Nobody's making you listen to it.
Well, no, I think he likes it. I think Joe just misses calling in. I think that was the point. I think the people miss calling in.
We were talking about sports.
I know Nick misses putting the football helmet on. I don't know if he has a baseball helmet. I need it too. We need those. And I promise we're going to get back to all of that and get on a cadence as we get going. So, yep. Oh, yeah, we can work on. We got a lot of things. Members chats can work on. We got a lot of things in the chamber we need to work on, and I'm doing.
Been so damn busy.
I will do my best. Oh, you found it?
Yeah, it's exactly what I thought it was.
More Gavin Sheets.
Guy on third, and he just knew he had it. Catcher knew he had no chance. Look at that.
Yeah, this is like a David Ortiz deal.
Look at that.
Look at he had to take a deep breath on that one.
No, he went who?
Even better is he reached out an infield single to get on base. So just what a speed run for Gavin Sheets.
That guy's got wheels. Didn't even know it.
Incredible.
And also here, I'm going to look at my schedule for the group and shout out Gavin Sheets for that electric stolen base. And for he's one of my best friends. And you guys know I know how much work he's put in. So I'm so happy for him of what he's continuing to accomplish. But for guys, and I promise next week, we're going to look at it next week. What are you laughing about now?
Next week, Collins. This Thursday, this Thursday.
Hey, you know what? How about this?
You want to call in Kevin and Zach react after the game? We got you every single night.
Hey, and call-ins can start back up when the Discord can behave a little bit too.
Hey, how about that?
There we
Shirts
go.
and pants, man.
There it is.
How about you stop acting like children, and then we'll work on calling.
And that actually, don't worry, things are going to be changing. But shirts and pants.
Jesus.
We're going to get back rocking and rolling. All right. Guys, I appreciate each and every one of you wholeheartedly. It's all love. And I mean it. It is all love. We got a lot of great things going on. So, anything else for the moment? Because I got to run up to do this event.
Nope.
Zach, any final words? You want to be happy one time?
I felt like I was so locked in because I thought Gavin Sheets was out here still. And then it was like, I'm not going to lie. When I saw all of a sudden I found the pitch and I see guy on third and he's on first, I was like, oh, I see how this is stolen. So like I was ready for like a little swim move. Like I was like, okay, how'd Gavin, incredible jump. But I forget who just said, but even more impressive, we got a stand-up steal.
Yeah.
Stand-up steal.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll tell you something. Rodgers might have lost today, but I know who did his part.
You trotted right into second base.
5 RBIs of their 6 runs. So I know who was putting it together.
It's almost becoming
honestly, I'll take that today.
When we talked about Seth Rollins with Adam Rank, it's getting up there for Gavin Sheets' counter today.
I was gonna say
there was a lot of. Well, it's not my fault. Gavin just kept on producing every time I looked at the Padres game.
Yeah, you might have to change the phrase.
All he does,
Gavin Sheets, all he does is produce, and all Jordan Westberg does is compromise.
All he does, I like Jordan Westberg. I don't know if that's good. Maybe it's not. Maybe compromising is not the greatest. Maybe that's the issue. But let's get the production going next time.
Let's get the production going, and let's get the heck out of here, Brad. Hum now. One more time. As always, here at the Ryan Ripken Show, we appreciate each and every one of you. You guys have made this what it is, and we got so much more in store. But have a day, have a night, have a great stinking weekend. We'll be back to do this all over again next week on the Ryan Ripken Show.